KJ100. From the movie Officer and a Gentleman that everybody wants to hear on the radio, you will be up where you belong with all the fast facts and information about television and the fall season coming up, and about that commercial that everybody hates where the guy gets naked on TV for the car dealership. Our special Friday favorite, Vince Staten from the Times TV radio department. It's all coming up on KJ100, WKJJ Louisville. It's 9 o'clock.
The crucial test comes today when the Senate votes on whether to override President Reagan's supplemental budget veto.
KJ100 satellite weather, some fog this morning, burning off later in the morning, then becoming partly sunny with a high of 85. Clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Some late night fog is possible. Look for a low of 64. Hazy, warm, and humid Saturday with a 20% chance of thunder showers and a high of 84. Some sunshine now, 66 degrees at KJ100.
When I find myself in times of trouble.
KJ100, 908 with one great song after another.
Turn you around.
KJ100. Kenny Rogers from his six-pack movie, Good Family Entertainment. Brody will turn you around here on the morning show. 9/11 with a special treat today. Someone that everybody's been telling me I need to get on the radio and have as our Friday favorite. And I will introduce that man to you right after this. Year in and year out, there's one waterbed store in Louisville. 2727. KJ100. It's 13 after 9. A special treat today. We have been preparing for this for quite some time. It's been a little while trying to get in touch with him because he stays very busy. Would you please join me in a warm welcome from the Times TV radio section? I wish I had a fanfare. Vince Staten, who is, as I understand from most people when we were out at Shirley's Comedy Club, everybody reads your column. They love you.
Sounds good to me. I don't mind hearing that at all.
Yeah, well, you got a tremendous following. Nice to have you in. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. What do you want to talk about? The new fall season?
Well, let's talk about all of it. We will probably take phone calls in a little while, and if you have any things that you would like to talk about, we talk about the commercials and the fall season and just anything you'd like.
Well, let's start out with the fall season because I'm right now right in the middle of putting out the fall premiere issue of TV Scene, which will be out next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So
okay, we'll look for that.
Thinking about all these new shows.
Okay.
What we got coming up is 23 new shows in the next 2 weeks.
How many will make it?
Well, if history is any guide, and it usually seems to be, 5 out of 23 will make it.
That's slim pickings.
And the funny thing is, I'd like to talk about a couple things. One, what I think is good, and the other is what I think will make it, which has not a whole lot to do with what's any good.
Hill Street Blues is kind of people kind of have mixed emotions about that. I mean, that's one of those types of shows. Well, you talk about all of that. Tell you what, we'll get going with some George Benson right here, and we got a fun bunch of topics. If you have some it's Friday. I need to get more rest. If you have any suggestions, you can give us a call here at KJ100. Good morning. That's George Benson on KJ100 this morning with his big hit on Muhammad Ali Boulevard. You probably remember that one. Our special Friday favorite today from the Times Radio and TV department, Vince Staten. It's nice to have you in. Talk to us about television and what's coming up with the fall season.
Okay, let's tell you exactly what's coming up. I guess about 4 years ago, a little sort of theme peaked in TV called Jiggly TV, if you remember that.
Yeah,
we had all the Farrah Fawcett's and the
Lonnie Anderson, was that it?
Every show had 3 beautiful young girls running around in wet T-shirts.
Right.
Okay. Well, all new TV seasons seem to have a theme. I mean, we've had the year of the doctor, we've had the year of the lawyer, we've had the year of the cop, the year of the cowboy. This year's theme is the Incredible Hunk. Out of the 23 new shows, I'd have to count real quick, but I think at least half of them have a handsome, square-jawed young man who, at some time during the first episode, will take off his shirt.
Now, this is a la Chips with
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We've got Bring 'Em Back Alive, which has a young guy named Bruce Boxleitner. Gavilan, which is Robert Urich, who used to be downtown on Vegas. Tales of the Gold Monkey is Stephen Collins. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. There's 7 guys they can get to take their shirts off.
Take your choice. Do they have different colors of hair?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all just a little different.
Right.
And there's a Devlin connection, which is Rock Hudson and a young guy named Jack Scalia.
Who was a print model. He was a very popular print model. I met him in Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, before that, he was a pitcher for the Montreal Expos.
Are you serious? That's wild.
This is it's another detective show for Rock Hudson, and with Jack Scalia instead of Susan St. James, it becomes sort of a Macmillan and Wolfe as he goes after the young girls.
Especially with some of the stories we've heard about Rock Hudson. Different twist.
Yes, a little very different twist. If you've been watching anything that's going on right now, you've probably seen a promo on ABC for a show called Matt Houston. That promo tells you what the new season is going to be about. The camera starts out focusing in on Matt Houston's crotch and then pulls back to his face.
That's great. It's
going to be that kind of year, I'm afraid.
Is this the year for the women, huh? They can.
Yeah. Well, it all started with Magnum PI.
Right.
And as we all know, advertisers want those women who are 18 to 49 or 18 to 34 or whatever.
Right.
And Tom Selleck was attracting them. So what have we got? We've got 1 million Tom Sellecks this year.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what's going to be a hit, really, it's where you're placed on the schedule that
is that what makes a difference in prime time? How close you are to prime time? Is that what makes a difference?
Well, it's what you're on opposite. I went back, I checked the history of television just to see, and I found out that any show that is number one the previous year, if a new show is put up against it, the new show never survives in the history of TV. So what we've got this year, up against Dallas, we have NBC's got a new show called Knight Rider. So you can just count it off. I mean, forget it.
Because automatically it's gone. Okay.
And 60 Minutes, which is pretty much even with Dallas in the ratings last year. Two shows up against it, Ripley's Believe It or Not and Voyager, so you can forget them. So you start from there. You can immediately knock off those three. There are 2 shows on this fall. I haven't seen all of them. The networks have not made all of them available, unfortunately. I've seen about 2/3 of them, and the 2 that I really like, one is Bob Newhart's new show, which is called Newhart.
He's always good. Great writer, great comedy.
He's a scream. His whole style, that sort of hesitant,
that vulnerable kind of, he's going to sing you.
It's a really good show, and it's on after MASH, which of course helps.
I've got questions I want to talk to you about the top 10 television shows last week according to the Nielsen ratings. I want to ask you about MASH going off the air in February. It's going to be a jam-packed hour. Also, we'll be taking phone calls here at KJ100. Let's pay some light bills and be right back with Vince Staten.
Watch out for the mailman.
Quality protection. Ask for it.
KJ100 satellite weather. You can ask for it today. You couldn't ask for much better. 26 after 9. Great sunshine for the weekend. Cloudy skies tonight and warm and humid tomorrow with a 20% chance of rain. High today 85, low tonight 64. Should be about the same for the rest of the weekend. Still 64 in Kentucky and at KJ100. Our Friday favorite today from the Times Radio TV department, Vince Staten, talking to us about the fall lineup and all the fun for television. Talk to us about the top 10 on the Nielsen ratings last week. Now, here's the list. We had this a couple of days ago. The number 1 show in America on CBS is listed as MASH. Now, this is according to Nielsen last week. And
summer ratings are a little different because, to begin with, not as many people are watching in the summer. More people are outside.
Vacations, okay.
And, the sun doesn't go down. Well, now it's going down about 8, but, it was like 9:30 back in the middle of July. So there are a whole lot fewer people watching, and the competition is a little different. Like there's no NFL football on Monday night.
Right.
NFL football really hurts MASH. MASH does well against NFL football, but MASH in another time period would probably have done a whole lot better during its run. Number 1 last week because it was up against 2 movies, I think, 2 rerun movies, one on NBC and one on ABC. You have to consider that. Anytime you're looking at the ratings, you have to ask what was it up against. Too Close for Comfort was number 2, House Calls number 3, Three's Company number 4, Heart to Heart number 5. Interesting thing there is that House Calls has been canceled.
Has it really?
Yeah, but it was canceled based on last year's ratings. I think the CBS executives, they'll never say this, but I think they never really thought it was a strong show. And then they kept having personnel problems. We remember Lynn Redgrave, who wanted to breastfeed her baby on the set while they paid her $10,000 an episode more. There were a couple of things she wanted there. She emphasized the breastfeeding, and I think CBS said that she also wanted a whole lot more money. And then Wayne Rogers, who's sort of been a problem child ever since he's been on TV, wanted out.
Too much too soon, probably.
Yeah, when you start losing your stars. Now, MASH, of course, has survived a lot, but Alan Alda's always stayed on.
He's leaving, February 27th is their last, is that right, February 27th?
2-hour final episode.
On Sunday night.
Isn't that interesting? It's on in February. Wonder why that would be. Could it be that because February is a big ratings month?
That's
it.
Interesting.
Always in February. February and November are the times people are always calling me a little bit in advance and saying, hey, what movies are going to be on? That's when they have all the big blockbuster movies. Gone with the Wind is always on in February, it seems. And whatever new stuff is coming up.
Okay, I tell you what, I've got a favorite record that somebody wanted to hear from Okolona, and I'll drop this in right quickly. We'll be back in a little bit with more of Vince Staten on KJ100, making your Friday a favorite.
It sure is smell of grazing in grass. Can you dig it?
Okay, repeat it now. I can dig it, he can dig it, she can dig it, we can dig it, they can dig it. Can you dig it?